Hi guys, I told you we were going to do a little series of videos on what you need to process your own deer at home. So we went over the knives and all that stuff in the first video. The second video is everything else. So basically, this is what I've got, and I don't have a ton of experience as far as using a bunch of different meat grinders or anything like that. This is just, we did a bunch of online research and stuff before we bought one. This is what we ended up going with. This is the LEM and meat grinder. It's the Mighty Bite, the number 8. It's 500 watt. Now you can get this. You can get this one on Amazon right now for $218.50. The reason we picked it is because it doesn't have a ton. Like, there's not a lot of plastic parts. Everything on this is stainless steel. The tray, the meat tray, the tube that goes on it, your auger for it, it's all stainless steel. The blades, the grinder housing itself, I think, is aluminum. I'm pretty sure this is aluminum, but all your internals and everything on this thing, it's all steel. It's all metal. There's not a lot of plastic junk on here to break. It's pretty simple to use. You just got 2 settings. You got a stuff set and then a grind setting, and that's it. You just put it together and turn it on, and it goes. You've got it comes with 3 different size funnels. So if you're stuffing, making sausage, it's got this push thing. So when it's all put together, you can just feed your meat into your tray, push it over into the hole, and just use this to feed it down in there. It's pretty simple to clean. You just take it apart and wash everything when you're done. Like I said, all the parts are stainless steel. It's just a really good setup. Like I said, we used it all last season. I ended up processing 7 deer at the house with it, and I love it. It's, like I said, it's just, we had no issues at all with this thing. And for $218, I know some of this stuff you're gonna think, well, man, that's expensive. But when you think, like, so when you're taking a deer to the processor, my processor, the one that I was personally using, was charging $80 a deer, right? Didn't matter how you had it done. Well, for all the standard stuff. Now you could get into more money if you had it all cut into jerky or something like that. And if we wanted to do jerky, like slice jerky, I've got a slicer, a heavy duty slicer downstairs, but we're not going to get into that in this video. This is just about, what you really need to bare bones to get processing your own deer. So I said that was the meat grinder that we went with. I highly recommend this thing. Like I said, it's not really super expensive. You figure if you process 2 deer with it, well, 3 deer. You process 3 deer, the money you saved on the 3 deer you process with it will pay for that right there. Then we've got this Food Saver vacuum sealer. This is the VS 3170 Food Saver vacuum sealer. This is not a crazy expensive one either. It's just pretty simple to use. We never used one of these things before in our life. We figured this out pretty easy. It's got the roll of bags in it. It comes with several different rolls and to start you off with, and different styles of bags. We've been buying the Walmart rolls since then and just using their brand because they work just the same and they're cheaper. I think we've been using the 8-inch wide rolls. There's an 8-inch and like a 10-inch or something. But anyways, and this will accommodate up to, I think, a 10-inch roll. You can do some more research on it and see, but this is so simple to use, and you can get this on Amazon. You can Google, or you can get on Amazon and type in Food Saver VS 3170. You can get this for $108. So, like I said, I know it's a little bit of money up front to get started with all this stuff, but if you're planning on processing your own deer from here on out, or a bunch of deer or whatever, it's well worth the money. Like I said, we did all our own last year, and I'm not going back to using a processor for a couple of reasons. One, the processor I go to was the cleanest one around here, don't get me wrong. Now, I'm not going to mention any names or anything because they're a good processor. But the meat that I was getting from them, so like the ground, it would leave a real waxy taste in your mouth. And through a lot of research I've done and stuff, it was because they were not getting enough of the deer fat off the meat before they put it into the grind. And it was just the grind that would do that. But it would leave like a film in your mouth after you ate it, almost like a waxy sort of film. It didn't have a bad taste, it just had that film, and I didn't like that. But that wasn't really what kind of killed it for me. Like, so one year, not last year, but the year before, I shot a deer, and I went to take it to the processor, and they said, sorry, man, we're full. And I really didn't want to take it. There's only 2 close to me, or fairly close, that I know of. And the other one is just a nasty place. It's not very clean. And so I was not going to take my deer there. And so I told the guy that. I was like, look, man, I don't want to take it to this other place. I was like, is there any way you could take the deer? He said, well, if you'll quarter it up yourself and put it in a cooler and drop it off, we'll take it. He said, we just don't have any space right now to hang anymore. Like, we're full. So I quartered the deer myself. I skinned it out, quartered it, and all that, put it in a cooler, and I took it to them. And to process that deer, they still charged me the full $80 fee, just the same as if I just took the deer gutted, up there to them and dropped it off. They didn't have to skin it, they didn't have to quarter it up. All that was already done, and they still charged me the same price. So that kind of burnt me a little on that. I was like, but it's whatever. But so that was kind of what made me decide to start processing my own. And the way we've been doing it, or the way I've been doing it, like I said, it takes me about 3.5 hours start to finish from the time I hang the deer. That's skinning it out, washing all the meat, cleaning all the meat good, cutting it up, however I'm going to cut it, and then grind, vacuum sealing, and everything. From start to finish, we're looking at about 3.5 hours most of the time. The only other thing I would say that you probably need are these totes. I've got 2 of these. You can get these at Academy for like $10 a piece, or you can get on Amazon, and you can get a 4-pack of these totes for like $27.99 for 4 of them, which is not bad. I just feel like this is something that you really need. Just because, like I said, I'll set my table up, and I'll have one here and one sitting right beside it. As I'm quartering the deer and pulling the meat off the deer, I'll put it in one tote, and then I will take it. Last year I was taking it outside, and I was washing everything with the hose. I was cleaning any excess hair, anything I could get off of it. Then I would put it, as I cleaned it, into this other tote. Then I would bring it upstairs, wash it again in the sink before we started actually cutting it up and vacuum sealing. So this year we're going to do things different. We're going to put a sink downstairs so that I can just wash it. So as soon as I get it cut up, I can wash it downstairs, set my vacuum sealer up, my grinder, all that up on the table downstairs, and do everything right there without having to bring it upstairs and trash in my wife's kitchen. So anyways, like I said, if you've got a good vacuum sealer, a good grinder, and definitely I think 2 of these totes, you can do all your own deer yourself, save you a bunch of money. Like I said, you figure 7 deer last year at $80 a pop. That's what, $560 right there that we saved last year by processing our own deer. And like I said, it is time consuming, but if that's something you're looking into, I don't know. It's just, I feel like the more you can do on your own, the better off you are. The less you have to depend on anybody else, and you don't have to worry about if the processor's full and can't take your deer. You just do it yourself and don't sweat it. Anyways, thanks. I'll catch you guys in the next one.